As the sun set over the small town of Brentwood, New York, a group of teenagers gathered in a local park. They laughed and joked, enjoying the warm summer evening. But their peaceful evening was about to be shattered by a group of ruthless gang members, members of the notorious MS-13. The gang members had mistaken the teenagers for rival gang members and, armed with machetes, they launched a brutal attack. In a matter of minutes, two teenage girls lay dead on the ground, their bodies mutilated beyond recognition. This horrific incident was just one of many examples of the violence and brutality perpetrated by MS-13, a transnational criminal organization with a long history of drug trafficking, extortion, and other criminal activities. In this video, we will explore the history of MS-13, their methods of making money, and the brutal tactics they employed to maintain their power. We will also examine the efforts by law enforcement to combat this dangerous organization and the challenges they face in doing so. MS-13, also known as Mara Salvatreccia, is one of the most notorious criminal organizations in the world, with a reputation for extreme violence, murder, drug trafficking, human smuggling, and extortion. Founded in Los Angeles in the 1980s, the gang has since spread throughout Central America, Mexico, and the United States, with an estimated 10,000 members operating in 42 states. MS-13 was founded in the early 1980s by Salvadoran immigrants who had fled their war-torn homeland and settled in Los Angeles. Many of these immigrants had been recruited by guerrilla groups fighting the Salvadoran government and had experienced violence and trauma. In Los Angeles, they found themselves in impoverished neighborhoods with high crime rates and limited opportunities. To protect themselves from other gangs in the area, these Salvadoran immigrants formed a gang that would later become known as MS-13. The gang grew in numbers and began to engage in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and robbery. In the 1990s, the United States began deporting gang members to their countries of origin, including El Salvador. These deportations had the unintended consequence of spreading MS-13 to Central America, where the gang became even more powerful and violent. In the years that followed, MS-13 became a transnational criminal organization with a presence in numerous countries throughout the world. The gang is now estimated to have tens of thousands of members operating in at least 10 countries. One of the primary ways that MS-13 makes money is through drug trafficking. The gang is involved in smuggling cocaine and other drugs into the United States and other countries, using their extensive networks to move drugs across borders and into local communities. MS-13 controls smuggling routes and distribution networks in Central America, Mexico, and the United States, and they have been known to use violence and intimidation to protect their interests. The profits generated from drug trafficking are significant, making it a highly profitable enterprise for the gang. MS-13 is also involved in human smuggling, using their connections and resources to help people cross the border into the United States. The gang charges high fees for their services, and those who cannot pay are often forced to work off their debts through labor. MS-13 is known to have a presence in many migrant detention centers in the United States, where they recruit new members and exploit vulnerable migrants for profit. Another spectrum of human trafficking where MS-13 is involved in is sex trafficking. The gang targets vulnerable individuals, including women and children, and forces them into prostitution or other forms of exploitation. Victims of MS-13 human trafficking are often subjected to brutal physical and emotional abuse and are kept under constant threat of violence. Another way that MS-13 makes money is through extortion. The gang targets businesses and individuals, demanding payment in exchange for protection. Those who refuse to pay are often subjected to violence or other forms of intimidation. In some cases, MS-13 has targeted entire neighborhoods, forcing residents to pay for protection or face violence and harassment. This type of extortion is especially common in El Salvador and other Central American countries where MS-13 has a strong presence. MS-13 also engages in money laundering, using front companies and other methods to disguise their profits and make them appear legitimate. The gang uses a range of tactics to launder money, including investing in real estate, creating shell companies, and using cryptocurrency. Money laundering is a crucial part of the gang's operations, as it allows them to hide their profits and avoid detection by law enforcement. In conclusion, MS-13 is involved in a range of criminal activities that generate significant profits. These include drug trafficking, human smuggling, extortion, and money laundering. The gang uses violence and intimidation to protect their interests and maintain their power, and they have a reputation for extreme brutality. Law enforcement agencies around the world are working to combat MS-13 and disrupt their criminal enterprises, but the gang continues to pose a significant threat to public safety. MS-13 is known for its extreme brutality and willingness to use violence to achieve its goals. The gang has a reputation for committing heinous crimes, including murder, rape, and torture. Some of the most brutal tactics used by MS-13 include: MS-13 is known for its frequent use of machetes in its attacks. These attacks can be incredibly violent, often resulting in dismemberment or death. The gang has been known to use machetes to carry out revenge attacks against rival gangs, as well as to intimidate or punish individuals who cross them. MS-13 has a reputation for using torture as a means of control and punishment. Victims of MS-13 torture have been subjected to beatings, burns, and other forms of physical abuse. In some cases, the gang has used power tools or other implements to inflict maximum pain and suffering. MS-13 is responsible for countless murders around the world. The gang uses murder as a means of control, often targeting rival gang members, witnesses, or those who refuse to comply with their demands. MS-13 murders are often carried out in public places, using guns or other weapons. In addition to these brutal tactics, MS-13 is known for its extreme loyalty to the gang and its members. Members of the gang are expected to follow a strict code of conduct and are punished severely for any infractions. This loyalty, combined with the gang's willingness to use violence, makes MS-13 a particularly dangerous organization. Despite efforts by law enforcement to combat MS-13, the gang continues to be a significant threat to public safety. Its members are highly organized and operate in a decentralized manner, making it difficult to dismantle the organization as a whole. The brutality of MS-13's tactics underscores the urgent need for continued efforts to disrupt the gang's operations and bring its members to justice. The United States government has designated MS-13 as a transnational criminal organization and has taken various measures to combat the gang. These efforts include law enforcement operations targeting MS-13 members, as well as programs aimed at preventing young people from joining gangs in the first place. However, these efforts have been met with mixed results. While some MS-13 members have been arrested and prosecuted, the gang continues to operate in numerous countries throughout the world, posing a significant threat to public safety. Some experts argue that more needs to be done to address the root causes of gang violence, including poverty, lack of opportunity, and social exclusion. After we have covered everything that needed to be covered in this video, I would be grateful if you could take a moment to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.